I know it's like probably your bedtime. Well, it depends on when you're listening to this, but hear me out. I apologize profusely right now because I was going to get an interview up today and I'm graduating in literally 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. And I weighed out my options. I'm like, hey, I want to hit episode 200 before I graduate. That's like a must. So, how can I still provide value and get closer to hitting that goal? I'll upload an episode today and I'll upload the interview tomorrow because tomorrow is going to be so beautifully hype. I am so very excited for it. Class got canceled, just going to straight up do networking and just blah, blah, blah. It's going to be beautiful. I feel like Winnie the Pooh, like just a day of just enjoyment and fun and stuff. I'll probably even eat some. No, I don't think I have any honey, but it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I'm gonna be focusing on the blessings and the gratitude and all that jazz, and that's what we're talking about today. Gratitude. Gratitude is one of the biggest healing things for the soul. There's a really good quote, and I'll link the talk from Dieter F. Uchtdorf. He was an air fighter pilot. He's a pretty prominent church leader in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter day Saints. Really awesome guy. And definitely someone I consider to be a man of God. He's definitely helped me a lot with things he said. But he said, those who lift the goblet of gratitude and put away the bottle of bitterness will find a refining drink of peace, healing, and joy. And that's what we're talking about is healing. Because I am going through a healing process in my life right now. This is a season of healing. And I think we could talk more about that. I don't know. If you listen to previous episodes, I think you can tell a little bit that I'm hurting, that there's expectations that I set a little too high for myself, and just people I feel like I let down that it's probably honestly all in my head. Oof. But that's okay because I have a wonderful care package to help me heal. I have the scriptures, I have so many other things. I wanted to talk about 3 ways that gratitude helps you heal. One is it gives you space, two is it gives you clarity, and three is it gives you love, which are all super valuable things for the healing process. I know that we've taken a bit of time in this intro, but I promise I'm going to speed it up and we're going to hit the value, get in, get the message, get out. That's what I tell myself before I jump in my cold shower when I do that, which is pretty much every day. It's just get in, get the message, get out. Because I get that's like a quote from Jonah VeggieTales movie. It's like you get in, get what you need, wake up, maybe get some ideas or something, and then you hop right out. And, maybe I'll stay in a little bit longer. But generally, get in, get the message, get out. All right. So, with that all said, thank you so much for listening. As always, the podcast has been growing, and I'm growing, and I hope you're growing. It's okay if you're not, if you're struggling. I feel you. I was in that place last semester. Oh, it was good. There was like ups and downs, and we could talk about it. Oh, it was beautiful. It really was, but it was painful, beautiful. Anyway, we're just gonna jump right in and stop prancing around these beautiful bushes. We're gonna actually go inside the kingdom of this episode. As always, if the podcast helps you with building your self care and sense of self and healing and helps you build a business and build relationships with other people and yourself, then follow the podcast because that's what we're all about. And I definitely see this going a lot bigger than it currently is. So, you guys are some of the blessed ones. No, I don't know. I really do appreciate you guys. With that all said, in this ridiculously long intro, we're just going to jump right into it. The first thing that a person really needs, okay, there's so many things. There's like, the assurance that you're cared for. There's just, having a place to just think. But then there's also, of course, just straight up space. This is something I learned on my mission trip for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. There was many times where we just drive in Drive, and there is farms. There are these giant spacious fields. You cannot imagine how big they are just to get to somebody's house. And it was like so fulfilling for me. You just see these immense wide landscapes, and it was just so neat. I mean, sure, there was a lot of smelliness because sometimes we were literally driving by dairy farms, but it's like this is really cool. And there's space, there's just breathing, there's just nice. It's good. It's great. We can just drive, and we can let our dreams have a place to live here. They're not confined to any place, and that's something I've really seen in college. Is I really need to have that space. Just being stuck in my apartment, I lose my mind. When I had COVID last year, well, 2020, end of 2020, that was rough. Not to mention our internet was garbage. It was super rough. I didn't have a girlfriend either. It's funny. It was rough. It was rough. But I had God, and I had a lot of other awesome things. But it was still way rough. And the school provided amazing meals for us, but it was still rough because I didn't really have a lot of space. And what gratitude does is it really does open you up and be like, okay, you know, even if things are not as exactly as how I'd like them to be, I can make the most of what I have right now. Gratitude turns what we have into enough, and that's another like scriptural thing that I've heard in church that I've definitely internalized. And it's really easy to be like, oh, you know, I don't have the space that Elon Musk has to work. I don't have the space that this person has. I don't have the giant pool or whatever. But when you choose gratitude, I would recommend it, by the way. When you choose gratitude, it turns your space into enough to get the thing done. And it turns your space into enough so you can heal. And it turns your space into enough so you can see yourself as the agent of change that you need to be so you can heal. That's kind of one of the interesting things about healing too, is there needs to be some changes that happen if you want the change and the healing to be sort of like full. There has to be some different things. When you change the recipe, let's say we're working at McDonald's or some company, if we have a recipe that stinks, we need to change up more than just the bun. We need to like survey, we need to figure out all kinds of stuff to find out why this burger was a flop. And then we can go back and then we can change it. And once we change it, we've healed it, so to speak, maybe we'll change the name. But we do something, we rebrand it, and it's cool. And sometimes we have to rebrand ourselves, and we have to be okay with saying this is a season of healing. This is not a season of. I mean, honestly, I am still hustling like crazy. I literally ran on a run this morning, this afternoon, this night. Yeah, I did that. It was good. I was pretty slow, but it was good. I was grateful. Anyway, um, but overall, dominating everything, I'm remembering that this is a season of healing and remembering and giving thanks for the space that I have and the space that I've given myself helps me to remember that the space I have is enough. The space that I have, and the space is such a cool thing too, because space also has to do with time, and it's like the space that you have to get things done, space you have to do blah blah blah. You show gratitude for it, and time is a homie when you respect time. Time, I don't know, it's really fulfilling for me. I don't know about you. When you look at your clock, you're like, wow, I am totally ahead of the game right now. It's a cool feeling. Doesn't always happen, but it's a cool feeling. So I think we've talked a lot about that. But I've learned a lot for myself that Dallin needs space. And juggling, writing, poetry, smiling, hugs, deep conversations, all of those things, video games, scriptures, they all help me to cultivate space and give my brain space to run around in. And sometimes it's not that simple, but overall, space, gratitude helps me have space. Clarity is another super duper huge one. I have this like tiny little sticky note that my youngest sister wrote on a while ago. And it just says, I can't wait to see you, Dallin. It's from forever ago, but some reason I still have it. And when I look at it, it just reminds me that she's still excited to see me and everything. And it's just, I don't know, it's really cool. And clarity just is so vital. And I think 2021 was really a year for me of trying to find clarity and suffering for not being more clear about things. But gratitude really does clear things up a lot. It's literally like a dump truck or one of those bulldozers that removes everything that is not super useful in that moment. It's like, okay, all this other stuff, we don't need this because we're focusing on the fact we have a job, the fact that we have a family that loves us, the fact that we're on pace to graduate from college, whatever it is. And we push all the other stuff out to the side. It is not important. I mean, it is important, but it's kind of like the Eisenhower box. It's probably more like here or here. It just is not that important in the moment, and it will be taken care of in time. But for now, the gratitude is going to help you have a lot more clarity of what you need to work on. And I honestly can't overstate how important this is. In basketball, I think about it when our coach would, I need to get him on the podcast so bad. It'd be so fun. It'd be so fun. I think he loses. I don't know. I think he'd be really like, whoa, Dallin, you're like, wow. I don't know what this. It would be cool. It'd be cool. But I remember him doing like halftime shows and halftime shows. Yeah, anyway, he would do like halftime hype things, which I liked. They were interesting. And he'd be like, guys, we are doing well at this, and we have this lead, and we're doing well at this, but we need to improve at this. And so what we're doing is we're getting clarity for how well we're already doing and remembering what we still need to work on. And again, I'm basically saying the same thing in a different way. But when you're expressing gratitude, it just helps you see more clearly how you're doing. I mean, that's what I got. I prayed for 10 minutes today straight, just like thanking God for my many blessings, because I really do feel extremely blessed, even though this is a season of healing. And it just brought a lot of clarity. Like, the blessings shine when you count them. I could go on and on about this. This is something that I've really tried to get better at. And when I have rough times or I fall short, like with my run today, I went and played Foursquare and whatever, because I was like, if I don't go now, I'm not gonna be able to play Foursquare with these random people playing Foursquare in the parking lot. And so it kind of derailed my run, but my pace was still good for it. So I'm looking on the bright side. And it was a win. It was definitely a win. But I don't know. If you don't take time to appreciate those tiny little things like those pillars of your life, then it's hard to see like how much clarity they are built to give you or that they have given you in the past. Something else that I'll throw in as a little nugget is lately I've seen from talking with my roommate Moose and other stuff, just kind of what's been whispered to me just through, what I call the spirit. Some people say conscience, all that is just that I need to be aware of my childhood and different lessons I learned in my childhood, because those are very important and brought a lot of clarity to what I'm doing right now. Brings a lot of clarity. And what I'm doing right now could bring a lot of clarity for what I'm doing in the future. It honestly blows my mind. I was looking back at some of the old podcast episodes, and there's literally one that said over like certainty and the uncertainty. I was like, what? Did I literally make an episode about this? What tips did I give, and where did this even come from? I just have to believe that I'm preparing myself for what's going to happen with these episodes. And hopefully I'm helping you too. I'm trying to get better at this. I'm enjoying it a lot. I hope that's pretty clear. But I love interviewing people and stuff as well. But I'm still ultimately figuring it out. But that just blew my mind. It's like, what? That's literally insane. So I need to go back and listen to that episode, like pronto. Whenever I've listened to episodes again, I don't know, it feels a little bit interesting, but I've never regretted it. It's always been like, okay, why was this episode so good and everything? Okay, I think we're being a little bit preachy. I think I'm being a little bit pious. So we're going to jump on to the next one, but 100% gratitude brings clarity because it helps you see more clearly what you need to focus on, what is going to bring joy into your life that's already brought joy before. Like, why wouldn't it bring joy again if it's something that's like a pillar of your life that's good? I don't know. I mean, there's so many different things that it's really easy to forget, but they do bring joy, and they did, and they probably will continue to if it's a good thing, you know? So, yeah, do something with that. And finally, we have love, which is like, oh my goodness, love. It is such a wonderful thing. And I have definitely struggled to express it well and everything. And when I was going through a really rough time where I felt really unable to show love and felt like I was incapable of loving others because of different obstacles and inability to forgive people and stuff, mostly just one person. But obviously, I love that person to death now, and it's okay. It's all good. But in the moment, I was drinking poison in my soul and just struggling a little bit. Gratitude definitely helps a lot with this. Kind of going back to the quote from Uchtdorf, when you lift the goblet of gratitude, you'll find a purifying drink of love and understanding and stuff. And so, just starting with I'm grateful for, loving parents. What I did today after my gratitude prayer thing was I just wrote down different thoughts and stuff that I said. And sometimes I'd say something and I'm like, oh shoot, I shoot the shoot, like that was a like shoots and ladders, that was good. Yeah. Like, we like that. We like that. We will write that down because that's cool. You know. Anyway, I mean, love is really the ultimate balm, and it's really easy to take our opportunities for granted. But then when we really appreciate them and cherish them, then it's very likely that we'll become a loving and grateful person. I was telling my girlfriend Bella about, oh my gosh, about about embracing, different experiences like Andy embraced playing with his toys. I mean, you see throughout the movies, there's this consistent, I am enjoying this while it lasts. And yeah, I don't know. It's just amazing because there's so many different experiences and stuff in our lives, and so many of them are so just temporary. It's just never going to be the same as it is right now, which is crazy. I mean, right now the podcast feels so like starter and everything, even though I've been doing it for almost 3 years and I've gotten a lot better at it and I love it and everything more than I did before. My voice, I probably should have drank more water. Um, anyway, but when you feel like, when you feel gratitude, you feel love because love just moves you to do things to show your gratitude. And one of my favorite examples of this, and I will definitely let you get back to your day, is when I started the YouTube channel with my friends back in 2012. This is something I focused on a ton, expressing gratitude every single second that somebody watched our video, somebody commented. I'd say, thank you for watching, thank you for listening. Or I say thank you for listening now. It's like, thank you for watching. And whenever every comment's like, thank you for your comment, even if it was a silly comment, it's like, thank you for your comment anyway, because I know you could have watched any other thing. I know you could have listened to any other thing. And that really helped me to appreciate the journey and just appreciate this opportunity to grow and become a better version of myself. Because that is what the YouTube channel really, really did for me. It was a vehicle to help me grow into who God needed me to be on my mission, and for right now too. And this podcast has lifted and built me up a ton. I really hope it's helped out you as well. And I don't know, just expressing gratitude really, it just is a thing that when you do it, you just feel really good and you feel love, you feel peace, you feel hope. And I mean, I remember at Stuka, I'd be like, hey, thank you for helping me with that call. Thank you for telling me about this. Thank you for that. I mean, all of these things, they create this love current that flows in between the people, and it's just nice. It's just good stuff. I love it. I mean that's a big reason why I give compliments all day to people, is because I'm like expressing something that I'm grateful for, just something that I'm grateful for in them, like their smile or how kind they were, all that stuff. I'm showing gratitude for that. So, and then finally, like when you express gratitude for like really tiny things, then it helps you like love that thing. And if you're able to love that thing, then that love is going to have to show in other ways too, meaning you're hopefully going to show that love, usefully in the world and for other people. When I feel really like grateful and thankful after like a really good cold shower, or a cold hot shower combo, or a cold bath, or something, I don't know, I just feel really happy, and I want to share that gratitude with the world, not necessarily by preaching cold showers or something, but just in a way that would help out the other person and help them feel love. And it when you reach out and feel that love, then you feel more love and you are able to give more love. And it's this beautiful cycle. And I'd recommend getting on it if you're trying to heal from something, because low key, I have been healing a lot in a lot of different ways lately, and it's been wonderful. And gratitude has definitely been an accelerator to helping that process go more. I've been trying to write down like all the wonderful things about my life right now, like in detail, and why they're so wonderful, and things I've done, and just different stuff like that, just to really internalize and make it so concrete. That's really hard to not be thankful for it. And I would recommend that a lot. Just whatever sounds good to you, whatever floats your boat. As long as it's a gratitude boat. Like you need gratitude. I don't know. You need to have. There's two ways we can look at this. We can think of this as like gratitude is like one of the sails in your boat, or one of the somethings on your boat, or you could think of it as a different boat and you have like a fleet of boats and gratitude is one of the boats. In any case, you need a gratitude boat or a gratitude thing on your boat because it's really, really helpful. This episode was a lot longer than I planned on it being. But yeah, love is the ultimate bomb, and gratitude is like a passport to love in a lot of different ways. Because it helps you see like how others have sacrificed for you, and you feel love for them and appreciation for them, and kind of goes back to like the three brands of love episode about honesty and courage. Like, it helps you do all that stuff so much more. I've seen that 100%. 100%. So that was it. I know this episode was kind of longer than I planned on it being, but we had a good time, and I am thankful for your listening and thankful for your support and patience with me. And definitely follow the podcast if it helped you or if it gave you some perspective. I'm definitely trying to narrow down the messaging and just everything. And I'm graduating from college very soon, so I'm planning to do more with the podcast. But I am taking a fat break after I graduate. But don't worry, I will be recording ahead of time and I'll be gravy. It'll be good. But I'll be taking a fat break. But the podcast will continue because it is a train that must continue. Even if the conductor needs to take a nap, the train will continue with another conductor, namely scheduled uploads. So, yes. Beautiful. Again, those three things that gratitude does for you is it gives you space, clarity, and love. I've seen that 100%. So, thank you so much for listening. Definitely check out the podcast at Yield Today with Dallin podcast on Instagram, or at Yield Today with Dallin Canlin podcast on YouTube. I am getting back in the loop of posting on there. So, as always, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for smiling and being a delight to the world in your own way. Keep on doing that. And I don't know, just write those things down because those could be really, really wonderful things to read on a rough day. I'm definitely a testament to that. Having some sunshine to go back to in a really rainy, rough day really helps. So, thank you so much for listening. Check out more of the links and whatever I talked about in the show notes. And as always, thank you for listening. Don't forget to heal today, and it'll be better tomorrow. That was a longish